In a quiet corner of Greenville, Ohio, lived Mr. James Smith, a soft-spoken widower in his late 40s. He worked 2 jobs, as a mechanic at a local garage during the day and a cleaner at a retail store in the evening. His life was simple and repetitive, filled with oil-stained shirts, late-night dinners, and a house filled with memories. James was a father of 2. Harry, 19, a freshman at a local community college studying computer science, and Maria, 10, a bubbly 5th grader who still thought bedtime stories were magic. Since the death of his wife 5 years ago, James had done everything to keep the family together, but no one saw his exhaustion. No one saw the nights he cried silently in the garage or skipped meals so his kids never had to. One rainy evening, Harry came home with a mix of excitement and nerves. "Dad," he said, "there's this tech conference in Chicago. It's 3 days long, and the speakers are top-notch. I could make some real connections there." James smiled, sensing what was coming. "There's a registration fee. It's $180, plus bus fare and hotel, maybe around $300 total." James didn't flinch. "I'll make it work, son." Harry grinned. "You're the best, Dad." But as Harry walked away, James felt the heavy weight of reality settle in. Rent was due in a week, and Maria needed new shoes. Her toes were peeking through the old pair. That night, James opened the kitchen drawer, where he kept his budget notebook. He flipped through the pages, scribbled with numbers, crossed out grocery items, and reminders to check coupons. He didn't have $300. For a moment, he considered telling Harry they couldn't afford it, but he couldn't. This wasn't just a trip, it was Harry's dream. The one thing James had worked his whole life for, a future better than his own. The next day, at the garage, his coworker Carl noticed James was unusually quiet. "What's eating you, buddy?" James explained. Carl handed him a greasy cloth and said, "You know what I did when my kid needed money for art camp? I worked Saturday shifts at the junkyard. It was hell, but I did it. That's what dads do." Carl's words stuck. That's what dads do. That week, James picked up every extra shift he could. He cleaned out basements on Sundays and mowed lawns in the freezing cold for neighbors. He stopped buying lunch and lived on peanut butter sandwiches. Maria noticed he was more tired than usual. "Are you okay, Daddy?" she asked. "I'm fine, sweetheart. Just working a little extra for you and your brother." She hugged him tightly. "Then I'll pray you get superhero strength." James faced one hurdle after another. His car broke down, and the repair bill chewed through his grocery budget. One evening, after a long day, he collapsed from sheer exhaustion in the garage. He hadn't eaten all day still. He kept going. One night, Maria came home with a permission slip for a school field trip, $30. James looked at it, smiled, and said, "Of course you're going." Later that night, he quietly sold his old wristwatch, a gift from his late wife, on Facebook Marketplace for $45. 2 days before the deadline, James had saved $275, just $25 short. Desperate, he drove to a pawn shop with his toolbox, his most prized possession, filled with tools he'd collected over 20 years. "I need $30, he said. The shopkeeper hesitated. "You sure, man? This stuff is quality." James nodded. "I'm sure." James placed the envelope with $300 on the kitchen table and scribbled a note, "For your dream. Make it count." "Dad," when Harry found it, his eyes welled up. "Dad, where did this come from?" James just smiled, brushing it off. "Doesn't matter. Just make me proud." Harry returned from the conference changed, more driven, more focused. "Dad, I met people from Google and Microsoft. They gave me tips, offered internships, even said to stay in touch. This could big." James beamed. In that moment, every sleepless night, every missed meal, every ache in his bones, it all felt worth it. Weeks passed. James kept working. But something had changed in the house. Harry began cooking dinner once a week. Maria started folding laundry without being asked. The silence that used to fill their evenings was now filled with laughter, effort, and love. One evening, Harry sat beside his father. "Dad," he said softly, "you've always given everything. One day soon, I'll give it back. I promise." James looked at his children. Maria sketching at the table, Harry researching jobs, and whispered, "That is all I ever wanted." Moral of the story: not all warriors wear capes or carry swords. Some wear grease-stained shirts, drive old trucks, and quietly break themselves to build their children's dreams. Fathers may not always say, "I love you" out loud, but in their silence, in their sacrifices, and in their struggles, love speaks louder than words ever could.